Okay, Mayor, whenever you are ready, we are ready to go. Oh. goodness. Mhm. Fran is on here.
Miss Fran,
She's on here.
she here? I mean, she on, okay, good. You ready?
Mhm.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Ferguson City Council meeting. Meeting is now called to order. Let us stand for a silent prayer. To pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Pittman, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Noah,
Here.
Councilwoman Griffin,
Here.
Burrow,
Here.
Nick,
Here.
Here.
Councilwoman Lipka,
He's absent and it is excused.
and Councilwoman Nelson.
Here. Is present. At this time, we'll have our public comments. The citizens interested in speaking were to submit their comments via email prior to the meeting by Monday, April the 26th at 5:00 p.m. Clerk Pittman, do you have any names?
Yes, I do have a couple tonight. The first one is Nick Kassoff. Nick Kassoff. Okay, I do see him as present.
Mr. Kassoff.
Yeah, I had asked if the clerk could just read my comment, if that's okay, or are we not doing that anymore?
No, we were allowing the citizens an opportunity to read their comments, to voice their concerns themselves.
Oh, well, all right. You guys were reading it for a while, but I'll be happy to do it myself. That's fine. My name is Nick. Can you guys see me okay? All right, hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Nick Kassoff, and I live at 125 Royal Avenue. I am commenting tonight because we have a special use permit on the agenda, and I wanted to address that. I am delighted to hear that after many years of neglect, a business may be about to occupy the property at 497 Airport Road. A laundromat is a great use for the building and would surely gain a great many customers from the surrounding neighborhood. However, I would like to bring to the council's attention that the owner, Barbara Payne, presently owes $51,550 in property taxes on that building, according to the records of the St. Louis County Department of Revenue, as well as more than $20,000 on the building next door. In addition, Ms. Payne once owned a home at 202 North Dade, which is now a community garden, upon which she also failed to pay taxes for many years, and which home had to be demolished at Ferguson's expense. I hope that the city will apply the same standards to this commercial occupancy that they do to residential landlord occupancy, which requires that all taxes on the property must be paid before occupancy is permitted. The truth is that taxes on this property are so delinquent that anybody could pay them in the post-third tax sale of St. Louis County and obtain immediate ownership of that property with no redemption period. In addition to that, the court records of the St. Louis County Circuit Court show an unsatisfied mechanics lien in the amount of nearly $4,400 from Air Comfort Service on that property, which has been outstanding since 2006. I wish Jade Laundry the best and thank them for moving toward making this investment in Ferguson. My comment here seeks to alert and inform both the proprietors of this business and the members of this council of the irresponsible conduct of the person who presently holds title to this building and the possible remedies which will be required before it can be placed into service. Thank you.
Okay, the next person I have is Amy Randazzo.
Hi, yes, I'm here. Hello, my name is Amy Randazzo, and I live on Hartnett in Ward 1. I am also an employee of the Ferguson Municipal Public Library, though tonight I am not here to represent the library, but as a concerned resident and taxpayer. With that being said, I listened with great interest to the council meeting last week, particularly during the discussion around the vacancies on the library's Board of Trustees and other boards. As I listened, I found myself deeply concerned at Councilwoman Tony Burrow's comments over the delay in filling the library vacancy, specifically her comment that she has checks that she can't even cash because she doesn't have people in place. I would appreciate it if Councilwoman Burrow could clarify her comment at tonight's council meeting and explain how the vacancy on the library board and other boards that she works with as a representative of the city council doing the work she described last week. And if she could also explain what program she is specifically receiving money for. Were the summer programs and tutoring opportunities she described a part of PACT? I know that Councilwoman Burrow does great work supporting our community's children with her nonprofit organization PACT, but I feel how a vacancy on the library board would impact the operation of her nonprofit, especially since the library is its own taxing district and is not a department of the city. As an employee of the library, I personally have not seen an impact of my work as a result of the vacancy on the library board, nor am I aware of any grant opportunities or other fundraising that the library has not received because of this vacancy. I admit that I am not privy to communications between the library board and the library director. From my experience, the only impact in the library's current day-to-day operations has come from the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and not from the complete library board. Thank you for your time.
Okay, next I have Mary Skis.
Hi, Mary Skis. I live at 830 North Elizabeth. And I have two things. First, why hasn't the mayor appointed citizens to fill the spots on the boards and commissions? Councilwoman Burrows was practically begging her to fill the library board so that those who were already appointed and are prepared to volunteer for the summer youth programs don't throw up their hands and quit. Instead of doing that during this meeting, the mayor has set the agenda to again talk about council members and their boards and commissions. That was settled on 4/22. Why is it taking so long for people who have applied to be appointed? Someone wants to do the work. Why would you work so hard to make them change their mind? I thought we were trying to recruit people, not chase them away. Second, why hasn't the mayor produced the documentation required to satisfy the sunshine laws regarding her task force? If these documents already exist, why is it taking so long for them to be posted for public view? The only documentation about the task force is buried 4 clicks in on the city website and is still incorrect as to who is involved in the group and contains statements that go against the city charter. When are these things going to be taken care of? The people of this city deserve to know what this task force is doing and how it's involved with the city.
Thank you.
Okay. Next is Laverne Mitchum.
Ms. Mitchell.
Laverne, can you unmute yourself? This is Cassandra. If she's not able to be unmuted or something, I can read her comment.
Comments, Ms. Butler?
Yes.
Did you want to go ahead
Okay,
and do
that's
that?
fine.
Okay, you can, why don't we do this? Because I also have comments from you. I
Right.
don't want to take away her opportunity. If we'll go ahead and read your comments now, and if she is still unable, let's give her a minute to see if she can correct, whatever she has going on. And if she's still unable, then we'll have you to read hers. Is that okay?
Okay,
Okay,
that would be perfect.
okay.
Dear Ferguson City Council, the bullying and gaslighting that has taken place on Ferguson City Council during the month of April has been breathtaking and disheartening. I don't have the energy nor time to address each one in detail. So let me just make a statement about some of the most glaring ones. Number one, it is okay and often advantageous to have more than one set of eyes view a particular issue. Duplication of analysis is often good. It is certainly not a blanket bad thing. Number two, the council is not the perfect task force. The council has its responsibilities, and none of them is to be an advisor to the mayor. Number three, no municipal board or commission member is entitled to stay in that position until they decide to leave it. All appointments expire for a reason. Being reappointed is a privilege, not a right. Number four, mayor's appointments are just that, the mayor's. See the previous three above. There is no squatter rights to any appointments, and prior appointments that are expired are not binding on anyone, especially a new mayor. Number five, and lastly, at the moment, what about the hiring of a new city manager? I sense a real fiasco in the most recent attempt at filling this position. This is a responsibility of the council as a whole. This is something you should do, and arguably your most important responsibility. Stop trying to micromanage Mayor Jones and tell her that she needs your permission and design input regarding the mayor's task force. Stop trying to convince the mayor that her powers to appoint stop at an expired member's wish to continue in that position. The most important task of city council is at hand, hiring a minimally competent city, at minimal, a competent city manager, and ideally a great city manager for Ferguson at this time in our history. Can we get you to do that, please? How do we spell starting the new council with a blank slate? Perhaps by respecting each other, not gang bullying the mayor, being honest and authentic with each other and the citizens. What about that? Respectfully, Cassandra Butler.
Thank you, Ms. Butler.
Thank you.
And we'll go back to Laverne Mitchell.
I think I'm unmuted now, Octavia. Do you hear me?
I hear you. You can go ahead.
Okay. Councilwoman Naquita Noah and Councilwoman Phaedra Nelson, congratulations to both of you. As a former council member and citizen, I would like to give you some advice that I hope will be helpful. Always remember the people who voted for you did so for you to serve with the best interest continually in your mind for them, the best interest for them. Also, most citizens understand that the overall best interest for all people will benefit the entire community. We are connected and we must care about each other in order for us to be a prosperous city in every way. You should strive always to be respectful of your fellow council members. Even when you disagree or have a complaint, there is a way to address other council members with the same respect you would want yourself. Citizens will not always agree with your vote or decision. However, if you truly have the best interest of all people in your mind and heart, I believe in most cases, things will work out and citizens will know when you're genuinely trying to do what's best for the community. We are in a troubling world and country right now. Many people are losing confidence in their local, state, and federal governments. However, many of us understand as citizens, we must vote and we must get involved. Never promote your own personal political agenda or anyone else's personal political agenda. Yes, you are now considered to be a politician, but I understand as a politician, you can still have values, principles, and integrity. Just as you are knowledgeable and competent on your jobs outside the council, also be knowledgeable and competent as a council person. Study the charter and know what is in it. The city clerk, the city attorney, and city manager are all advisors to you. Absolutely ask questions. Inquire on issues concerning the city of Ferguson. Remember to do this with respect and sincerity. It should not be an exercise in disrespect or put down or you don't know your job. You would not want to be treated that way. At the end of the day, you may all represent specific wards, which I feel is a good system, but you also represent the entire city of Ferguson. Make us proud and not ashamed when we get calls from individuals asking, what is going on in Ferguson? That last council meeting was terrible. We get those kind of calls. Many of us can say that we do. Thank you for stepping up and taking the responsibility to help our city move forward and become a great city to live in. Sincerely, former council member and concerned citizen, Laverne Mitchum.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell.
Okay, and last I have Trayvon Walker.
Yes, good evening, council and community. My name is Trayvon Walker. I go by Vaughn. I am a close to 5-year resident of the city of Ferguson, residing on Royal Avenue and a current student at Harrisville State University. I previously served as my university Student Government Association president and served on the president's administrative council at our historic institution, providing perspective to the student voice. I also currently serve as the Collegiate 100 chapter president at Harrisville State University, an auxiliary organization of the 100 Black Men of Metropolitan St. Louis. March 24th, 2021, from 6:30 to 8 p.m., Ferguson residents were invited to a city manager candidates town hall where the final 3 candidates could share their well thought out and comprehensive vision for the city of Ferguson. It is now April 27th, over a month later, and the residents of the city of Ferguson have not seen any official press release or statement provided by council stating the 3 candidates, the individual that council agreed upon hiring, or that they reopened the application. Thus, I will presumably say that after seeing the job being reposted on the Ferguson website, as well as other job search engines, that the job was effectively reposted, which I would say was a good idea. We, as a city, have a lot of people across the country still watching to see what Ferguson will do next in regards to city governance, economic stability, and so much more. Though I am not aware of the inner workings already being done by council regarding the search, it is my hope that council will consider reaching out to a bipartisan professional search group, as many governing bodies do, such as Harrisville State University and their recent selection of their president, to ensure that Ferguson residents are getting the very best candidate to serve. According to public records, our incoming city manager will make well over $100,000 per year, and it is the community's duty to ensure the most qualified, competent candidate is chosen. After witnessing the final 3 out of the prior pool of candidates, there was a casino administrator, there was a person with government experience but no acumen surrounding the current state of Ferguson, and there was a candidate from the city of Berkeley. We must make a nationwide search for our next city manager. There are hundreds of nonprofit CEOs, executive directors, and government leaders across the globe who I believe would love and feel lucky to be able to lead the city of Ferguson to prosperity, whether it be safer street managing, ensuring our citizens' social and emotional well-being, economic development, or an increase in civic engagement with experience in strategic planning and tested theories. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to the announcement of our next city manager, and in the interim, appreciate our current city leadership. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I have?
Okay. The public comment section is now closed. We ask that the staff will govern themselves accordingly. At this time, we'll have the manager's report. Interim City Manager John Hampton.
Mayor, Council, as always, it's an honor to be here tonight. I have 2 items tonight. I will introduce our park director, Dave Musgrave. He will talk about the July 4th event coming up and also our summer events. Dave, if you can take that from us.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Thank you, Chief Hampton. First, I wanted to address the 4th of July event. As you know, last year with the COVID going on, we were forced to cancel the 4th of July event. This summer, we are looking at doing a consolidated event, basically having our typical parade, and then we'll have the fireworks shut off in the evening. There was a memo sent out probably about a week or 2 ago, outlining the event in its whole, outlining how we need to sign the new agreement, because the contract was already signed for this year's fireworks show. We just need to sign the agreement, agreeing on the number of shells, as well as the date and time of the display. The plan right now is to have a parade in the afternoon, probably commencing at about 2 p.m. Because the 4th of July does fall on a Sunday. That'll give people time to do church in the morning, probably gather for lunch with their families, and we'll be able to have the parade kick off about 2 p.m. Hopefully wrap up around 4 o'clock, and then people can go home, do their thing for the afternoon, evening hours, and then we'll have our typical fireworks display in the evening right around 8:45, 9 o'clock once dusk sets in. We've already started initiating conversation with St. Louis County for approval for the parade, as well as the fireworks display, so we have everything in line for that. The hope is to get the parade applications out to the public here in the next week or so, that way we can get off. As you're aware, we are incredibly behind schedule on this due to COVID and other things. So we're going to be struggling to get entries in that as it is. So I was mainly wanting to come in front of you this evening to see if there are any questions or any thing that could be addressed tonight so that we can get this moving forward as soon as possible. So if there's any questions, I'm more than happy to answer those about 4th of July, and then I'll move on to our other summer programming after this. Okay, not seeing any hands or questions, I'll move on to the next subject. The next one is our summer concert series. This one is a little bit unique this year in that we did pay deposits on the previous budget for our summer concerts, but then it was canceled because of COVID. So this one is very financially easy in my mind for this summer. And with the current county regulations, I think all of our concerts fall within those purviews. Right now, St. Louis County is mandating that any outdoor event over 500 people get approval. Many of you have been to our concerts in the past. We have never had 500 people at any one of our concerts in the past. So our plan is to start these in June, have a concert in June, July, August, and September. They'll still be on Friday nights as before. They'll run from about 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. We will try to do social distancing, masks as needed. As you're aware, they did change some of those regulations today, but we'll follow whatever guidelines are current for those. We'll present all this in budget, but there will be very little financial impact to the budget with these concerts because of the previous payments made. So I just wanted to also bring that in front of you and see if there was any concerns or questions about that moving forward as well, primarily so we can get the talent booked and then also get the advertising out so people are aware. So like I said, if there's any questions, I'm more than happy to answer those.
No questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just to comment, I'm very grateful that the concert series are starting back up. I mean, that as someone who has run a food booth there for our community garden, I mean, the people that come, I mean, it's everybody that comes, and it's a wonderful gathering of all kinds of folks just out to listen to free music. So hearing that it's going to happen again makes my heart happy. So thank you.
We're very happy to hopefully be able to offer it. Councilwoman Griffin, did you also have a question?
No, I didn't have a question. No, I was just saying thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
Any
Dave.
other questions? I'll go back to Chief Hampton. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Mayor, that's all I have at this time.
Okay, thank you, Interim City Manager John Hampton. At this time, we will have a special presentation, the annual Ferguson Twilight Run. The Honorable Dwayne James.
Thank you, the honorable, that's okay. All right, can everyone hear me okay? All right, I guess so, because people are laughing when I laughed at the honorable. That is funny to me. All right, let me share my screen and then I will cover a few things about the Ferguson Twilight Run. If I can find out how to share my screen, what is going on? That is so crazy. All right. It's always fun when you're trying to do Zoom and it doesn't work out the way you want it to work out. It was so much easier when I was on the dais. No, okay, that's fine. All right, let's go with sure. All right, 12th annual Ferguson Twilight Run. Take one. Can everyone see the screen?
Yep.
Yep. Good. All right. My name is Dwayne T. James. I am the race director for the Ferguson Twilight Run. As you can see from my Zoom profile, I represent the entire planning committee. So I am one of 15 to 20 people that actually work on this run each and every year. And so the Ferguson Twilight Run is hosted by Live Well Events. It's a nonprofit. This year we will have in-person events with the 1 mile fun run, the 5K and the 10K. And then we do also have a virtual run option. It's professionally timed by Big River Running, and then proceeds each year benefit local organizations. So the FTR experience, it includes that professionally timed experience. It includes a closed course to make sure that everything is safe for our participants. Team discounts are available because we want to bring out the entire family. We want to encourage people to run or walk and participate with their friends as well. And so you also get a running shirt and a finisher medal. We honor the fastest athlete as well as the person that is just coming out to try and start their running or walking journey with that 1 mile or 5K. We have cheer stations along the entire route. We have a free concert as well for not only the participants, but then of course the community, and then the community support is phenomenal. It is something that the Ferguson Twilight Run is known for. It is something that we didn't actually expect or plan for, but was just something that came about with the run. So a couple of the highlights since we started in 2010, we've had 16,715 total number of registered participants. And then last year, as we went virtual, we had participants in over 20 states, 21 states to be exact. More than $100,000 has been donated and distributed to beneficiaries in the North County area. And then we have been a 5-time winner of the Big River Running's Best Neighborhood Support Award, and then also a 1-time winner of the Runner's Choice Award, which is actually voted on by the participants and the community as well. So this year's details, I'll go over them and then we can have some time to answer any questions and provide any additional details. As you can see, there's all smiling faces, intense faces, enjoyable faces of participants in the past. So the Ferguson Twilight Run is known for a fun event, an event that actually brings out community of all ages and then also all fitness levels as well. Not something that is just unique to Ferguson residents, but it spans the entire St. Louis region and then also other states. And so this year's race is Saturday, May 15th. This year's beneficiaries are Red Circle, Emerson Family YMCA, Girls on the Run St. Louis, which is the Ferguson Florissant School District of Girls on the Run, And so it benefits scholarships for participants that are actually in the Ferguson Florissant School District, and then also the St. Louis Home for Children, where we're benefiting a summer program that actually provides fitness and wellness activities for the children that reside in that home. And so with COVID being present, we're limiting in-person capacity to 700 participants. We've reached out to St. Louis County, got their approval based on the location, based on the route. We can actually have up to 1,000 participants based off of their review, but we are limiting to 700 in-person participants. That includes the 1 mile fun run, the 5K, and then the 10K. We also are doing a virtual run option, which is unlimited, so we can have 700 more participants that actually participate in that virtual run. And then the start and finish will be at STEAM Academy. We moved from our past locations of 501, the Plaza at 501, just because we wanted to provide more social distancing and then also provide more opportunity for residents to feel comfortable actually participating in that space. So we've moved everything to STEAM Academy, but it will be the same fun event of the Ferguson Twilight Run. And so we have talked to Ferg Floor, got their approval, and that has already worked out. And so this is the route for this year. I'm showcasing the 5K route with a lot of directional words, but I will actually narrate what the 5K experience will be. And so people will start at the STEAM Academy, which is right off of South Florissant Road. They will go east on Woodstock and then turn onto Bermuda, go downhill on Bermuda, and then turn right onto Paul Avenue before going up the Elizabeth Hill, turn around on Elizabeth, and then come back down Elizabeth, make that corner, go down Paul Avenue to St. Louis Avenue before they actually go onto the Ted Jones Trail, and they will take the Ted Jones Trail back to Woodstock before they go back to STEAM Academy and finish their 5K route. 10K participants will just stay on the Ted Jones Trail, going all the way along the Ted Jones Trail close to the UMSO campus, and then turn around and come back and then again finish at STEAM Academy. So this provides us an opportunity to use the Ted Jones Trail as much as possible, not block off as many streets as we've done in the past, which is going to help us because we actually have to do timed and paced groups, so everyone cannot start at the same time. So there's a crowded start line. So we actually have to do 15-minute increments, which is going to extend that start experience. So we didn't want to actually extend the time that we're actually closing off the streets. And working with the city and working with the police department, we're thinking that South Florissant Road can actually remain open. And then this, cars will be able to go back and forth during those blocks of time if everything works out and if police say it's okay. And then we'll be closing down Bermuda the majority of that time. And then also Woodstock as well. And so with that, I will move over to the request of the city. Each year, the city is a huge participant or a huge supporter of the race. Everything from serving on the planning committee to helping with police, public works, fire, and then of course, Parks and Rec. And so our request to the city is just to approve the course, making sure that working with city government, working with the police, that they are okay with that course. We've already been in contacts with Chief Hampton and then also with the police department. And so those conversations have happened prior to today. Public Works helps as well with cleaning up the streets by just doing a street cleaner along the route the week prior, and then also supplying tables and tents as necessary. Fire and ambulance are always present as well, which is great for the residents, and then also helps with the safety And then Parks and Rec helps with everything from being a part of the planning committee, but then also opening up the community center for us to do packet pickup. Waiving of permit fees, that's another request. Use of insurance policy, because we are going on the city streets. Just in the past, we've used the insurance policy of the city to be one of their events for their coverage. Use of mass mailer, we are putting out postcards to the residents on the route. And then we place informational signs in the right of way, and we just want to make sure that that's okay, that we can actually place those informational signs in the right of way without going against any ordinances without your approval. And then sharing of social media posts as well. And so these are our requests. These are things that we've done in the past, and we've always provided a portion of the proceeds back to the city to offset some of these costs. It's not going to offset all of the costs, but it does offset some of the costs. Currently in our budget, we have $2,500 to $3,000 that we're planning to submit back to the city to help offset some of these costs. That's all if the numbers turn out right, if participants turn out great, but we will be providing some proceeds back to, we will be paying the city for a portion of their services. I wouldn't say the proceeds, a portion of their services. It doesn't, again, it doesn't offset the entire cost. We understand that, but we are trying to at least offset some of those costs. So that'll be around $2,500 to $3,000, depending on how everything works out with registration. Some of the additional highlights that I would just like to mention about the Ferguson Twilight Run. You know, in the past, we've had everyone from 900 people to close to 2,000 people. So with 700, it's going to look a little bit differently, but it's still going to be the feel of the Ferguson Twilight Run. You can sense the spirit in the air. People are out jogging and walking and wearing their shirts, not just in Ferguson, but throughout the St. Louis area. And that's a pride for not only us, but hopefully for the entire city. But with that, this year, we will have a Spirit Week from May 12th through May 16th. So that Monday prior to the race to the 16th after the race, just getting that spirit alive, encouraging people and showing the community of Ferguson and showing the community of the Ferguson Twilight Run virtually. So that includes everything from posting different pictures of social media of your favorite race picture or your favorite medal or you and your shirt, to just talking about your favorite experience as well. And we'll also bring in our beneficiaries to showcase where this money is actually going. So we don't keep much of the proceeds. We keep enough just to get us from year to year. And so the majority of the money actually goes out to those beneficiaries. And that's one of the things that we're proud about, but we also want the participants to know exactly where their money is going. So we'll highlight them throughout the entire week. Brian Owens, it will be doing a virtual concert. We won't be doing an in-person concert this year because of COVID reasons, but Brian Owens will be doing a virtual concert, which will be shown on the Friday before the race, and then an encore performance of that same concert that Sunday afterwards. And so we'll be able to see that through Zoom and then also Facebook Live if everything marries accordingly. I'm working with some of the restaurants as well, seeing exactly if we could stream that performance into some of the restaurants. So it's more of that community feel, even though it's not going to be the same as the concert in the past. As I've mentioned before, everyone that crosses the finish line in person or actually does their race virtually gets a medal, a commemorative medal. So those medals will go out. You will get them at the race after you cross the finish line, but then virtually we'll send those out after you participate. And so again, hopefully we'll get 21, 22 states to represent the Ferguson Twilight Run. And that comes in with our partner, Hoka Northern Arizona Elite. Their professional sports team actually has an Olympian that's part of their sports team, and they are a huge partner this year. And so they're sending information out to their followers to say, sign up for the Ferguson Twilight Run. And then they're also connecting with the schools to actually have someone from their team that's actually going to talk to the students in the Ferguson Florissant School District, in the Riverview Garden School District as well. And so that's a huge partner that we have this year, and hopefully next year will be in person, and they will bring some of those Olympic athletes to the race as well. So I cannot, of course, do the presentation without, of course, thanking our sponsors, everything, the local sponsors of Emerson and Negro Materials, of course, the city of Ferguson, and then Hoka you see there in Sports Print, some family sponsors, as well as organizations and businesses that have continued to come back year after year and be a sponsor and supporter of this race. There's still an opportunity for more sponsors and supporters at any level. We appreciate monetary sponsors, but also in-kind sponsors as well. And then the planning team as well. So you see the names of the individuals that are part of the planning of this award-winning event. And hopefully I did not miss anyone. I'm sure I probably did, but hopefully I didn't. I tried to check it 3 times. And this is just this year's. We've had people that have come on, taken a year off, come back. And so this is this year's planning team. So if there's any questions, I'll take those. And then if there's any questions that people that might be looking in on have questions as well, they can contact me or contact the team at racedirector@fergtwilightrun.com. And then also go onto our website, our social media accounts at fergtwilightrun.com. And then of course, volunteers are needed. And so you can see more information about which volunteers are needed on a website, and then also by contacting me. So that's a quick nutshell of the Ferguson Twilight Run. I will entertain any questions, comments, suggestions, and thoughts. I think I see Heather's hand, so I will go with Heather. Okay.
So Dwayne, I just want to thank you for not giving up last year when it had to be all virtual. This is such a huge draw for Ferguson, and it's I've been part of it since the beginning, whether running a food booth or running with running with my kids. And it's such a great, just like the concerts, right? It brings people together. And even though this is a smaller footprint, 700, just the thought that we can do this in a modified manner. And I like the new route. I mean, like, I'm looking forward to it. So I just want to thank you for your continued passion for this, and everybody who signs up for it, and everybody who works in the background for it. This is just such a treasure we have in Ferguson. So Dwayne, thank you. And I can't wait to be a part of it.
I appreciate that, and I will continue to say I am just one of 20
I know.
people, and then I will just continue to say this is not my race, this is not our race. It is truly a community race. Everyone finds their part and does their part. So thank you for that, Ms. Tony.
Yeah, I was laughing when you first came on because I said your ears should have been burning, because Heather and I was just talking about you. I said, "Where's Dwayne? I'm doing more advertising than what he is about to run."
I appreciate that.
Here you show up tonight. Now you're telling us all your shut on funds. I tell him, but we're gonna have to probably write him a check. Okay,
I would take checks. I would take a check in a heartbeat. Live Well Events. I would take a check in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mentioned to Heather that whatever you want me to do, I'll do.
Okay.
Whatever route you want me to do. I like to police the streets. So if that's, I bring my posse with me. So I bring them all. So if that's
I appreciate that.
That's no problem. I'm happy to do it. I'm glad to see you. Glad to know that it's still going on. 12 years later, here we are.
Yeah,
Good
12
job.
years. Thank you.
Good
I
job.
appreciate that.
No problem.
Dwayne, it's Fran.
Hey, Fran, I was just looking at your cheer picture as I was doing the presentation. You and the family out there cheering everyone else. So hi, Fran.
Yes. See, generally that's my position, is to, hold down the folding chairs and bring the pom-poms. And then I bring, I have the family come out so we can all cheer everybody on as they run through, the finish line. That's my favorite part. And I love the fact that, the kids are also able to participate in this, because on many occasions I've called Dwayne, I've got some little girls out of the third. I've got some babies out of the third. They want to run. They actually participated in Girls on the Run, and they heard about this and was like, I want to run too. So I think it's wonderful. I can't wait to participate. Whatever you need me to do, I just need a Slurpee as I volunteer. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't know what the weather's gonna be like, but I'm ready as well. I'll put my folding chair up to volunteer too.
I appreciate that. And I will echo or just comment on what Councilman Griffin just said. We do have sponsors that sponsor the race and then donate their registration. So if you know of a child or if you know of a family that wants to participate and things happen, send us an email. We'll make it happen. We want people to participate, so we'll make it happen.
Great.
Job.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
I'll be out there. One
Thank
mile.
you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it.
One mile.
Thank you. Yeah, and I want to thank the entire council, from new council members to former council members. Everyone, I continue to see likes and shares and just promoting it. So I thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
I will put my information in the chat just in case they didn't see the last slide, and I'll stay on as well. So thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. The next item on the agenda is the public hearing. An opportunity to submit their comments via email by Monday, April the 26th at 5:00 p.m. Also, citizens interested in speaking may note in the chat box that they are interested, or they could use the raise hand feature. Each speaker will be asked to provide their name and contact information. At this time, Interim City Manager John Hampton, would you please introduce the special use permit?
Yes, ma'am. I will pass it over to Elliot Leibson, who has been working on this project. Elliot?
Thank you, sir. Madam Mayor, members of council, and I also note that the applicant Aisha Bell is here this evening. I want to hopefully keep this as quick as possible because her partner is celebrating his birthday tonight, so we want to get her off as soon as possible so she can celebrate with him. Without further ado, this is a special use permit hearing for Aisha Bell and Darren Hendricks to operate a laundromat at 497 Airport Road. You have the documents in front of you. What I'd like to do is just very briefly go over the issues that came up at the Plan Commission meeting, and there were only a couple. One was the issue of parking. They have a sufficient number of spaces on the property, but they don't have sufficient space for a drive lane if they can only use their property. The way that was resolved is that the owner of the property submitted a letter saying that they had cross access to use the property next door. So that we consider resolved. The other issue was that of lighting. We wanted to make sure that the lighting was screened, and the Plan Commission actually said, that we were being too stringent on the screening, and all they required was that the lighting be screened from the back. And by that, we mean it can't the light poles can't be higher, excuse me, than where the land meets the rear property line, which is about 24 feet above where the base, where the parking lot is. So, we put a 20-foot light pole. It's not going to shine it. That screen, it's not going to shine anywhere in the property behind. And so that's fine. The applicant has presented a really strong docket for application. You know, they have their finances and their setup and just one of the strongest applications we've seen in a while. And as the Plan Commission noted, we just don't have a lot of laundry services. There are a couple laundromats in downtown, but they're just, you know, there's just not enough. And even in COVID, people need to use it. And the Plan Commission voted unanimously to recommend it. And so we're bringing it to you with a recommendation of approval. And I just want to address the issue that came up tonight. We've been checking on this while this conversation has been happening. And to the best that I can find, the applicant, there's nothing in our code for commercial that says that the applicant is responsible for the owner's past due taxes when it's not the same individual. Now, as I mentioned, the applicant is here, and if this came up in conversation between her and the property owner, and she can speak to that if she wishes. But from a code standpoint, I don't see, and we'll continue to research this between now and the second reading. I don't see anything that says that this is something that the city can regulate, but as we will continue to look into that. And with that, concludes my presentation. As the applicant is here, as I mentioned, and I turn it back to you.
Okay, so thank you, Ellie, and I appreciate it. So we're actually in the process of buying the property from the current owner. And so a part of the title search and the work is that those taxes would and should be paid off at closing. And so that's kind of where we are right now. We've been waiting on final numbers. The IRS is moving a little slowly because it's tax season. So the title company's been waiting to get those final numbers. There's some other numbers, finances that they also had to wait on and get those numbers to make sure that all the any liens or whatever are paid off at the time. And so we're just waiting on final numbers to make sure that they don't exceed, I guess, the sale of the property.
Hi, Miss Bell. This is Fran Griffin. How you doing?
Hello.
I thank you for coming today. I had an opportunity to sit in on the Planning Commission when you originally came to get the special use permit, and I was just blown away by, I mean, you had everything in order from top to bottom. So it doesn't surprise me that you are not only on top of the concern that one of our residents brought up, but that you're in the process of actually purchasing the building. I mean, that's good to know. And in terms of the comment earlier, I think that's something we do need to look at, because it does a disservice to new businesses who are interested in coming in. They find out that there's some money owed, and you never know, the building gets swept from up underneath their feet. Unfortunately, Ms. Bell has done her homework and she's on top of it. So that's a good thing. But I think in terms of the city, maybe we do need to take a look at, what wordage or what can we put in place to ensure that, people that actually own properties are paying their taxes before they say, hey, we want to have another business come in, and then they find themselves kind of stuck in a rut. So maybe that's something that we can explore. But again, welcome to Ferguson, Ms. Bell. I appreciate you. The service, I'm sure, is definitely going to get used. And I look forward to stopping by. And right now my washer's down, so I might have to come and pay a visit.
my dryer actually went down as soon as we started this process. So yeah, I feel your pain. It took me about a month to get back on track. So I appreciate it. Hopefully we can get this wrapped up in the next couple of weeks and move forward.
Are there any other questions from the council? If not, Clerk Pittman, do we have anyone from the audience that'd like to speak?
Yes, T. Darnell Dyson. T. Darnell Dyson. One second, let me see if I can identify him on the list of attendees.
I looked, I didn't see him.
Yeah, I'm not showing him present either.
He isn't present.
No,
Okay. Anyone else?
that was the only one.
Okay. The public hearing is now closed. We're going to move to our consent agenda. We don't have any city council meeting minutes for tonight. No board commission meetings. The appointments, I would just like to share that several of the residents had given me a call about the meeting, and several of them sent me texts, and one sent me an email, and I just want to read a portion of it before I make the appointment. And it says, a concerned citizen sent me an email, directed me to a 10-minute conversation from the last night's council meeting, which was April the 20th, relating to boards and commission. In the meeting, councilperson Tawny Borough mentioned that she could not proceed with something called 2+2, the education piece, because the library board had an open position. I do not know what she is referring to. Maybe this part of a project the city is working on, or some requirement the city has to meet. Or maybe this has to do with the private nonprofit organization she works with. I do not know of any library work that is not being done because of the library's board open position. I, of course, very much want a full board. I know that the board members agree, but we have not had a problem with making quorum and have not, to my knowledge, delayed or avoided any decision because of the open seat. Discussion of the open position has come up many times in recent meetings. With the knowledge that you as mayor hold the power to appoint the library board, the general consensus expressed by board members in those conversations is to hope that any new appointee will bring expertise to the board. We currently have an accountant on the board and benefit greatly from the expertise she brings, but we do not, for example, have attorney on the board anymore. Board members will mention people expertise that they might ask to fill out an application, but know that the decision is your hands once an application is sent. A last little correction, Councilperson Linda Lipka said that, though not by name, would be moving back into the position she vacated. That is not technically true. The position was vacated, has been filled, and the position we currently have open is from a different person who vacated a position. So the term of office might not be the same. Thank you for the time. And I wanted to share that because so much undercurrent has been going out for no reason. So at this time, I would like to make the appointments to the Park Board, Gerard Powell, Devon Gore. And the appointment is by the council. I need a motion in a second.
I'll motion. A second.
State your name so we can hear who made the motion.
Councilwoman Noah. I motion first. And Councilwoman Nelson.
Made the second. Any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor?
Well, can we hear the names again? I'm sorry, Mayor. Can we hear the names?
Gerard Powell and Devon Gore.
Okay.
They are being appointed to the Parks Board, so they will have a quorum. They lost 2 members and now they have 2 members. So welcome to, okay, it's been properly moved in second. It was a question. Are you ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. We have new Parks Board member Gerard Powell. And I would just like to say, a young family, they just had their first child. And I'm just so proud of them that they decided to move to Ferguson. And Devon Gore, she's a member of Ward 3. And we're happy that she wants to step up and be a part of the Parks Board. The next appointment is for the Ferguson Neighborhood Improvement Program, Frida Williams. She's being appointed by the council. Is there a motion and a second?
A motion. I'll second.
The motion was made by
Councilwoman Phaedra Nelson.
Councilwoman Nelson and second by,
Councilwoman Noah.
are you ready for the questions? If none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Frida Williams is a part of the FNIP. She is a woman who loves her community and wants to start working in her community. The appointment to the library board is Evelyn Green, and it's appointment that I am making. Evelyn Green is now appointed to the library board. We have another appointment tonight, the honorable. And I say honorable because once a person served in a public office and they no longer serve that office, they take the title of honorable. So now we have the Honorable Steve Wiegert from Ward 2. He's going to be appointed to the Economic Development Tax Commission. The mayor makes the appointment, but it is approved by the council. Is there a motion and a second?
This is Tony Barrow, so moved.
Heather Robinette, second.
It has been properly moved in second. You have any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. The Honorable Steve Wiegert, he is appointed to the Economic Development Tax Commission Board. Tax Commission. I'm excited. We're moving forward. We are truly, truly moving forward. The next item on the agenda is the council appointment list for 2021. As the mayor, I will take senior citizen, Councilwoman Linda Lipka, FNIP, the Ferguson Special Business District, the Ferguson Future Foundation to Traffic, Councilwoman Robinette, Architectural Review, the Board of Adjustment, Farmers Market, the Ferguson Youth Advisory Board, Technology, Pension, and Landmark, Councilwoman Borough, the Citizen Review Board, the library, Economic Development Sales Tax, Councilwoman Griffin, Plan Commission, the West Florissant Business District, Building Boards of Appeals. Councilwoman Noor, the Parks Department, the Human Rights Commission, and Chesapeake Park. Councilwoman Nelson, the Personnel Board, Housing Board of Appeals. Thank you. At this time, we don't have any resolutions. The next item will be bills requests for first reading. Bill number 7206. Without objection, we're introduced by council members present. Attorney Carey, would you please read the bill by title only?
Yes, ma'am. Bill number 7206. An ordinance of the city of Ferguson, Missouri, granting a special use permit to Aisha Bell, Darren Hendricks, doing business as J Laundry, for the purpose of operating a laundromat at 497 Airport Road, subject to the conditions, restrictions, and requirements set forth herein.
Interim City Manager, would you please explain?
Yes, ma'am. I have nothing new to add to this. We just heard it pretty much on a nutshell earlier tonight. So I know staff is wanting approval.
At this time, no action is necessary for the first reading. We don't have any bills required for second reading. Any unfinished business? Next, new business. Not, we move on to Ms.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
This is Councilwoman Noah, and I have new business. Just right quick, I wanted to ask the chief, or the acting city manager, and Bailey Mitchell, and/or I just have a question regarding the Ferguson Neighborhood Improvement Program. Are there any plans to offer a low-interest home improvement loan to our senior Ferguson population? It's my understanding, per the Agenda Center on the website, the minutes from October 2020, the financial report, just after reviewing the funds, I just wanted to know, are there any plans there to offer a low-interest home improvement loan to our senior Ferguson homeowners?
This is John, the acting interim city manager. Ms. Noah, I do not have that answer 100% for you, but I will get you that answer and definitely make sure everybody else knows. We'll put it up as well.
Okay, all right. And just a follow-up question. Is the focus on, current homeowners, to help our current homeowners? So thank you for that, Chief, and I'll wait.
Okay, thank you.
To miscellaneous, Councilwoman Noor, have anything to share?
Just wanted to share, yeah, I did take part in the Parks Master Plan meeting that was held last Wednesday, and it was very informative. I had a good time. Looking forward to more meetings. And tonight we met with the acting city manager, Chief Hampton, at the corner of Paul and St. Louis Avenue regarding the tracking. We're going to start tracking the automobiles that drive down those streets. If anyone needs more information on that, I can answer questions. You can give me a call, but that's pretty much it. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Councilwoman Griffin.
I just wanted to thank Dwayne James again for the Ferguson Twilight presentation. It's always wonderful hearing events like the 4th of July and parades coming up, and Ferguson Twilight. It definitely gives us a refreshing feeling that things might be looking up for us in terms of a city. So I definitely want to appreciate you all for working so hard on these different projects. I did want to ask a question. I definitely want to get some clarity around permitting. I've had on a couple occasions, folks saying that they're submitting permits and these permits are not getting approved for whatever reason. And I did go on the site. I know if there is an existing event like that's done from the city, then those permits will not get approved. I'm curious to know if there's some kind of response that the city gives to those applicants who are looking for permits, if there is a city event going on. And if so, what that looks like. And then also, I just wanted to get, just for public purposes, and maybe Dave can kind of speak to this as well, the process, or Chief Hampton, I'm sorry, Chief Hampton can speak to this process of how residents go about getting usages to be able to use the parks. I've heard everything from the parks cost $1,500. So I just think maybe there needs to be some clarity around the process, and maybe you can just, instead of just explaining it to one person, maybe you can just explain it since we're all on this meeting now, and see if that'll help anything.
Yes, ma'am.
Clarify some things.
Yes, ma'am. I know Dave and myself have talked about this event that you're talking about, but I will let Dave go ahead and explain how we get events going. And then I will, if necessary, help him support any things that he needs done.
Thank you, Chief Hampton. To answer your question, Councilwoman Griffin, it truthfully depends on what they're looking to rent. So if it is an entire park, we have what is called a special event application. And that basically is a 4-page document that asks what they need as far as porta potties, staffing, trash barrels, barricades, all that kind of stuff. And then a fee is assessed based on what we're having to put in, based on personnel, based on resources, and based on land mass, that kind of things. If they're simply looking to rent a pavilion, that is a very straightforward process. They would be a Ferguson resident, $25, come by the community center, fill it out. But like I said, if it's an entire park or entire facility, we basically just analyze how much we're gonna have to put in as the city, and we try to recoup those costs based on what they're looking for.
So do you give the residents that are interested in something like that a breakdown of that cost so they'll know what they're paying for? I'm just curious, like how that works.
In the past, it hasn't. Like Chief Hampton mentioned, we are working on that. So it's actually detailed out by line item. So a public works staff costs X number of dollars for number of hours, that kind of stuff. But we're transitioning to that right now. Truthfully, the application process was started before me with Matt Unrein and some other people that were in place. And it was just, hey, here it is, and this is what we do. We're trying to make it a little bit more cut and dry at this point to move forward, adding a 5th page so that it can go to each department head. They sign off on it, sign off on the cost, that kind of stuff, and streamline the process. But up to this point, it has not been as easy and straightforward as we're looking to make it here in the next month or so.
Okay. And does that include gathering permits as well?
Gathering permits actually are a different process. So it kind of depends on what they're looking for. Currently, the city has 2 different permits, and that's something we're discussing as well, whether we can make that one process with 1 permit, or if we need to leave it as 2. It kind of depends on what it looks like. Right now, the special use permit is for city-owned property, that sort of thing. But there's also another permitting process if it's on private property, that kind of stuff for gatherings. That's a totally different application. But we're trying to streamline that process, like I said.
And how long do those processes generally take from start to finish, like from the time somebody comes in and applies to the time that it's approved? How long does that take to get it?
The goal is 2 weeks. A lot depends on what departments it's affecting, and if those department heads are in office, out of office, those sort of things. But our goal is always 2 weeks turnaround on it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Anything else, Councilwoman Griffin?
No, for right now, that's pretty much takes care of my questions that I had. That's pretty much it right now.
Thank you. Councilwoman Borough?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to welcome Jade Laundrie. I am really excited about your coming, and just want to say, I know you got a few things to get done, but I'm looking forward to you being here. And thank you for choosing Ferguson as your city of choice. I also would like to thank Dwayne. Dwayne, thanks so much. I know about the honorable and all that's due, but you and I understand about that too. So we got that going on. I really, really appreciate, and I know that it takes more than one. I know you're not it, but for everybody that is involved, that makes us the city of choice for these particular reasons. I thank you. I tip my hat to you. Thank you so much. And you know I'm serious. Call me. I got the check. You just give me a call. I'll be there for you. The other thing, I was hoping that Chief Jason Armstrong would be here tonight, because unless he's on and I missed him, I want to talk about, in the month of May, it's government month. And for the week of May 9 through 15, it is enforcement. I would like to present our law enforcement, the police in particular, with a proclamation for what they have done. We hear a lot. I don't have to even talk about what goes on, the conversations about policemen right now, but we have a few that's doing much. And I think they ought to be recognized for that. So anybody that's on the call listening, and those of you that are on council that have something that you know about that you would like to share, whether it was something they've done for a child, a family, or whatever, if you would send that in to Octavia and make sure that she gets it, so that when we present the proclamation, and that would be hopefully Mayor Jones on the 11th, I think is when we come back for that. And so it would be a quick turnaround, but I think it's necessary that we recognize our law enforcement as we have it. The other thing I would like to talk about tonight is I am appreciative of moving forward with the appointments. It's necessary that when you have boards and commissions, that the positions be filled. And in most cases where there's boards and commissions, you have some overlap, and you're not necessarily overlap, but you have folks to the side. I have been going through a list of people asking if they would consider, even if there's not a spot, if they would consider being available. We had several dozen people for the CRB that said when we first got started, that's the Civilian Review Board, when we first got started, that they would be interested in serving. Well, time has passed, and so people are doing other things, moving on, and we don't have that list now. We do have some vacancies. We have one vacancy out of Ward 3. We had to even develop new language to remove a person from the roster so that we could, in fact, add somebody. It seems elementary, at the very least, that I should have to explain this to citizens of this city. But like Mayor Jones, I get a lot of emails and a lot of phone calls too. And they're probably of the same consistency as what Mayor Jones read tonight. Unfortunately, you don't get those by yourself. And so I get them too, and probably everybody on this council probably gets those same type of emails. I refuse to bring them with me. I think if you want to have your story told, come to the comments portion of this forum, and you can do it there. I did have the opportunity to speak on the council last night, the library board, and there was some confusion. I've never been confused about what I've been saying, but I'm confused. It's hard to confuse me. And so I was confused that others were confused. I think what I might have done, and not might have, what I did, that I spoke from my culture when I said, I've got a check I can't cash. Now I'm hoping that some of you that are of my persuasion understand that kind of talk. I got a check that I can't cash. And I'm not the only one that do that. So I'm not gonna make an excuse for me talking out of my culture, because, oh, let me tell you this. Today, I am 71 years old, and I've been talking a long time. And so when you figure that you've come to the fact, I can be as professional as anybody needs me to be. But when I'm talking out of my culture, that's what I do. And so when I write a check I can't cash, I'm sorry that I confuse a lot of you, and I'm going to apologize for that. But writing a check that you can't cash just simply means I've got some things I've got going, and things are hampering what I'm trying to do. It's as simple as that. A check that you can't cash. So I'm not going to break it down per what that whole conversation was, but I will tell you this. I have been working with the library, and if you want to go back and look at every one of these meetings that we've had with the city council, when I've spoken of the library, it has been nothing but we have a library that rivals any library in this state. And I speak on that all the time. One of the things that I love about my relationship on that board is that I have a relationship with the director. When we're done with the meeting and we are finished with all business, the last thing we do is let me get a copy of what we need to take to the people. We have some fantastic things going on at the library. I don't want you to miss out on them. I do have some things in play, some things that I have set up that we will be moving forward on, and that most of them come from the campaign that I ran. We're doing some things that, and when I did an analysis, and I told everybody in one of our council meetings that I was going to do a needs analysis. And I did that needs analysis, and we did come up with some things, and I've even brought that back, what they were. It takes people working on these boards. And when I say work, don't get me confuse anybody about getting paid. It's not about money, it's about volunteering. And when we've got volunteers that give up their time, we want things that are being done well. I volunteer in a lot of venues, but I only volunteer at venues that I know people have put their mind and their plans together so that they won't waste my time and they got work for me to do. And it's free work. So, but I don't intend to everything I say, I'm gonna have to start explaining it to folks that, oh, when I say work, I really do mean, I meant the volunteers. I hope we can come to an understanding. When Mayor Jones has said that we're moving forward, we are moving forward. But we're gonna have to have some more communications, Mayor Jones, with each one of us. I had mentioned that when we were doing the search, what would we do? And there was another time I said, what would you do if, oh, I know what it was. It was the forum, the candidate forum. And the thing that I said is this council needs to have a time alone, if you will. We need to set up and say, oh, we're going to go on a retreat, if that's what you want to call it, but we need to be one, and we're not there yet. And anybody that thinks we are need to think again. But I know that we can get there, but we need some communications, and we need to talk about some things before we get up and read a letter that somebody wrote you, or a mailgram that, or a telegram, or whatever it might be, because there's some of these things we can do before that happens. And to have to explain it at this forum, if that's what we got to do, bring it down. You know, sometimes I tell my 4-year-old, explain it to me like a 3-year-old. And so if that's what we got to do to break it down, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to do whatever it takes, that for whoever, and you didn't have to vote for me or not, but whoever is a citizen of this community, I want to do all I can, everything I can, to be that person on this council that is getting it done according to what we need to get done. So for those who were confused, beg your pardon. There is no money owed out from the library board. Library board is intact. I think all of you probably know. If you don't, I'll give you this information for free. The library is statutory. So they have their own money. It has nothing to do with city money. So therefore, and they have the authority to do what they need to do, and they do it well, extremely well. So I have no complaints, but I do want to give you just 3 points. Let me just pull this up, just be a second. And this is from last night. We got 3 top points, and the points are, We're open to the public again, the library, with special hours and a 20-minute time limit in the building to reduce the chance of spreading COVID. Second thing, we have released a first look budget that is generally conservative, no major changes. It is a conservative budget. It's already there. It's practically what we did last time. So if you need any further information off of what I'm saying tonight, contact me personally. I'll give you my cell number. You have my number from the city to send me the phone call. Let's stop doing this business here. It takes a lot of time. The last thing is the craft kits are back, and they are a big hit. And that's coming straight from the horse's mouth. So we've got a lot of things going for the city library. On the CRB, we are working hard. We still have an open seat, and I'm looking for somebody to take that seat. If you have somebody that would be interested, or if you're interested in yourself, please contact me or anybody on the CRB. Thank you so very much. Have the rest of a good evening.
Thank you, Councilwoman Borough. Councilwoman Robinette.
Yes, good evening. First of all, happy birthday, Tony.
Thank you.
I would like to thank you for bringing back 4th of July and the parade for the citizens of Ferguson. I know a lot of people like that. I would also like to welcome Jade Laundry. You know, if all this goes through, thank you for wanting to move in here and be a part of a business part of here. The next thing I'd like to do is thank Laverne Mitchum. I served with Laverne Mitchum in Ward 2 when she was appointed on council. And Laverne, a couple of your comments really resonated with me, the respect, and we can disagree because you and I, we'd call each other and disagree and talk through a lot of what we were going through. And I really appreciated you reaching out to the new council members and offering some advice that is really quite sound. And you as a counselor, I thought that it was very, very pragmatic for new council members. And I really appreciated your thoughts of just if you're genuinely trying to do what's right and you don't have an agenda. I think that's where I hope that all of us come from. We're just trying to do what's right in our community, and we're going to try to do that together. So thank you, Laverne, for your insight. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the Ferguson Farmers Market opens up on May 1st, and that is from 8 a.m. to noon at 501 South Florissant Road at the Plaza at 501. And the first hour is that's for seniors and immune compromised to come through. Masks are still required. I think there is actually going to be a band, but you're not allowed to hang around. You just shop and move through. But it's exciting to have it open up, and I'm looking forward to the market opening up. Finally, Dwayne, thank you for presenting the Ferguson Twilight Run, the 12th Twilight Run, that now I'm going to have the 12th t-shirt in my closet. Thank you very much. But I just wanted to say, aside from registering my family, I will go ahead and sponsor four registrations for people that don't have the funds to do that. And I hope that I'll put that out on my social media to hope that others will too. So like, we want everybody involved that can be involved. And it's such a great community builder. I just appreciate what you and the entire team does behind you. I see everybody there behind you. And I appreciate it every year that you do this, and the entire posse behind you that does this. So I want this to continue forward. So thank you very much. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Councilwoman Robinette. Councilwoman Nelson.
I just wanted to remind a couple of things. Remind Fergusonwood residents to join us on the 28th at 6:30 at North Hills Methodist Church, where we'll be discussing the installation of street counters in that area. And also I wanted to thank Mr. Dwayne James for the presentation tonight for the Ferguson Twilight Run. I'm thankful for the opportunity to have been a committee member for the last 10 years, as well as I'm also excited that I'll be sponsoring a team this year as well. So I want to thank him for the opportunity, and especially through being a resident in the community and as an employee of the way. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Councilwoman Nelson. At this time, we will hear from Assistant Chief Frank McCall.
Mayor Jones,
Yes.
did we get Ms. Noah?
She was first on the list.
No, I'm fine. Thank you, Fran.
Didn't I call you? Yeah, you did. I thought I did. She's first on the list.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We all excited, I know.
No.
Okay. I'm getting ready to call it Assistant Chief Frank McCall.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council, and all others that have gathered for the meeting today. It's a pleasure coming before you this evening. I want to talk to you guys about what we've tried to do. We got a lot of complaints that works with traffic enforcement. I'm sure that you all have seen on the news as far as what's going on in our region. The thing that we have tried to do within the Ferguson Police Department, even under the circumstances with staffing, things of that sort, is that daily on each shift, we've tried to go to emergency status, concentrating on our hot spots for traffic. This is inclusive of the majority of that shift that's on duty enforcing traffic in our hot areas, as well as, and this is also inclusive of our white shirts as well, our lieutenant and captain of the road division as well. Additionally, we're putting forth the effort to put our decoy vehicles out again to deter people that might consider, once seeing a marked vehicle, they might think again twicely. But the main important thing is that to let people know that we're out there, to be visible, and to show that we are prepared and willing to attempt to stop you. Of course, we're going to err on the side of caution when we have people that have a total disregard for safety. Just to mention on today, our lieutenant, our road division lieutenant, attempted to stop a vehicle in the Hereford area, I believe it was, which took off on him. But I'm sure that individual recognizes now that the Ferguson Police Department will attempt to stop you. So it might not solve the problem as of yet, but it is an effort. So no one, especially these individuals, can sit up and drive through our city and figure, well, we don't have to worry about anything. Ferguson is not going to do anything. We are. And that is priority to us. We've had a lot of traffic accidents in the region between us, Dalewood, Berkeley, unincorporated St. Louis County. It's all over the place, and we have to do our part. We've been discussing some partnerships with our neighboring communities and for our traffic enforcement as well. Because one thing I know for the years that I've been doing this job, you cannot run a radio. So, and all we have to do is just identify the vehicle. One hardship that we've had is that a lot of these vehicles are stolen vehicles. So that also increases the point that individuals are not going to stop. But we do know of certain areas where vehicles are dumped, and we do not want our community to be one of those areas identified as dumping grounds for stolen vehicles as well. So I want to let you guys know we are aggressively attacking this. Like I said, manpower permitting, we're doing this daily on day shift and on night shift, just for the point. And one thing I've learned also is that the streets talk. And once the word gets out that we're out here doing things, that we're more visible on the streets, odds are that our numbers are going to decline in reference with the aggressive driving, but more importantly, the motor vehicle accidents and the seriousness thereof. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Assistant Chief Frank McCall? If none, thank you, Assistant Chief, for the report.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. just would like to share, in addition to that, all the mayors of North County and all the police chiefs of North County, we are getting together sometime next month for a meeting to discuss how we are going to look at traffic and crime on a regional level. So hopefully when we meet, we'll have some notes to bring back. Our neighborhood association, several people have called me about that. And what I would like to do is meet with each neighborhood leader and then get with Bailey Mitchell so we can have a group meeting and to see how we are going to energize our neighborhood meetings. They are very, very important. We know Forestwood started meeting back in March. I've heard from Hudson Woods. They are going to start meeting in May. And I got a telephone call this morning that Somerset, they are going to start meeting all on Zoom. So there is an interest in holding neighborhood meetings. In addition to that, we've been looking at the infrastructure of Ferguson, and our Public Works Director, Mr. Don Boyce, he's going to give us some details about the infrastructure, and that should be coming to us in the near future. So other than that, we just excited that we are finishing early, no late night. And at this time, we are going to have a closed session tonight. I am requesting a motion and a second to go into closed session pursuant to 610.021, subsection 1 and subsection 3 to discuss legal and personnel matters.
Fran Griffin, so moved.
Seconded by Heather Robinette.
It has been properly moved and second. Ms. Pittman, would you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Noah,
Aye.
Councilwoman Griffin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Burrow,
Aye.
Councilwoman Robinette,
Aye.
Mayor Jones,
Aye.
Councilwoman Nelson.
Aye.
We are now in closed session. Everyone have a great night.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.